Hey there, everybody. So, welcome to the beginning of the 2023 tax season. I wanted to put together a quick video, cover some of the key points and dates that we need to be mindful of for this year. Starting at the top here, we've got our 2023 season. So, this means we're doing it January through April 2023. But very important to remember, it's the 2022 tax year, right? So 2022 tax year, for individual taxpayers, we operate on a calendar year, right? Cash basis taxpayers. So our Form 1040 is going to have a 2022 at the top, and it's covering our income and deductions from Jan 1, 2022 through the end of the 2022 year, December 31st, right? So very, very important. Sounds obvious, but believe it or not, I actually get this question all the time, right? 2022 tax season, which is it? What are the dates? So very important to just make sure that's clear. Now, e-filing returns, right? This is very, very important. Every year I talk about this, and I can't stress it enough. So e-filing versus paper, we always recommend e-filing. Now, when can you e-file, right? The IRS has announced that e-filing, the servers will open up January 23rd. Right, so for individuals, if you want to file your 1040, the earliest you can get it submitted and started processing on the IRS side is January 23rd, 2023. Now, a lot of tax software package providers will advertise your ability to file earlier. And this is a little misleading, but what they're saying is that you can prepare the return, submit it to them, and they kind of hold it in limbo, right? So it's on their server, but it actually can't be submitted to the IRS yet because the IRS hasn't opened up their portal yet. So if you see a tax provider advertising, file today, January 9th or 10th, and get your return processed earlier, it's not entirely accurate, right? Again, they'll process it for you on their end, but nothing can actually get sent to the IRS yet. Now, paper filed returns, again, I can't stress this enough. Please try to avoid paper filing as much as possible. It really should be just a last option for you. And that's because the paper filed returns, they're just not as accurate. It takes significantly longer to process because it's got to be submitted via paper, right? It's got to be mailed to the IRS. Somebody on their end has to open it, review the return, key it into the system, process it. It just takes months, right? It's months that you could be waiting to get your refund check. So we highly encourage either use a paper preparer to do it for you, or purchase and download the software, do it in the cloud, or there's a lot of free e-file options, right? So I'll put a link below. The IRS offers some e-file options through a variety of providers. Assuming you qualify based on income, then you should be able to use that option. Now, filing deadlines, right? So the deadline this year, again, is going to be April 18th. 2023, but if you can't get the return submitted on or before that due date, go ahead and file an extension, right? So the extensions are automatic in that you have to file it, but the IRS will accept it. So automatic doesn't mean you just get it by doing nothing, right? You've got to do something. You've got to file that 4868, but if it's filed, the IRS will grant you the extension. You get an extra 6 months all the way up to October 17, 2023. Right, so a nice little cushion there in case you feel like you're coming underneath that looming deadline and you just don't have everything ready to go. All right, last thing, this is also very, very important because I think a lot of taxpayers kind of get tricked into filing early for this reason as well. Child tax credits and the earned income tax credit. By law, if you file a return and it has either the CTC or the EITC on there, they cannot issue you a refund check until mid to late February, right? And this is done because the IRS has to do more due diligence, verify the return, make sure you're eligible for the credits, that they were calculated appropriately, because they saw too much fraud in prior years where people were filing immediately, let's say end of January, they're getting cut a check and it wasn't accurate. So if you are preparing your return and you find that you are going to have either the child tax credit or the earned income tax credit, it doesn't matter what amount, even if you file, on January 23rd, let's say, it's not actually going to start getting really processed or even a refund release until mid to late February. So for that reason, if you know you're going to have these credits, don't submit a return end of January. Give yourself a little more time to make sure it's accurate, and then push the button, mid to late February, because at that point, the return queue will have been basically will be lifted, right? They won't put a hold on it simply because it has these credits attached to it. All right, so that covers it for this video. Just a very quick update on the timing and what to expect this year. Obviously, I'll continue to put out a number of videos throughout the season, just giving you updates on refund deposit dates, issues we're seeing with the e-filing, various tax software platforms and things like that. So, stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Put that bell notification on so you get all the updates that I send through here. And here's to hopefully a happy and a stress-free tax season for all of us tax preparers and taxpayers alike. All right, thanks so much. Have a great one, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks.